Morning, everybody, and thank you for giving up your time this morning to go and hear me speak. So I've got a brief presentation I'm going to go and run through, but just because we've got such a nice small group today, I'm happy to take any questions throughout the session, but also as well, what we'll do at the end is probably just have a conversation of the group that we've got here today, because as much as it's nice to sort of talk about what we do, I want to hear more about what you do. I'm sure you're passionate about what you're about, and so therefore, for me to kind of improve Ramblers Wellbeing Walks, it's always good to kind of listen and hear about what we can do to make things better. So I'm going to share my screen. This should hopefully work, and then put it to presentation mode. So like I say, a really warm welcome to Ramblers Wellbeing Walks and the work that we do in trying to get people active through walking. I think we all know about the power of walking, and the great good it can give to people if you go regularly walking. And we know that there are 20 million adults across England who are regularly walking for leisure, which is fantastic. But we also know that there are 12 million adults, a significant number of people across England who aren't being active to the levels that are discussed as the right levels to be active. And really for us, we design Ramblers Wellbeing Walks really to meet the needs of those people, to kind of help them get into walking by delivering really supportive, approachable walks. And I'm going to talk a bit about them today, about what we're going to do. So we'll talk today about Ramblers Wellbeing Walks and kind of what it is we exactly go and do. And we will also go and do a bit about what we do and what you can do, and then and what you do, and then we're going to talk about how you can be involved. So a bit more about Ramblers Wellbeing Walks and what is it we actually do. So we're a national program. So we're across the majority of England. We're in most places, very good sort of 80% coverage across the country. So we're not pushing everywhere, but we're working towards that. And we are a network of 160 groups that deliver group walks, and they are group walks that are led by a trained walk leader. They focus on those who are inactive or less active, or who have got a long-term health condition. This is really important for us, is that each group runs a regular 30-minute walk, and no walk is no longer than 90 minutes. For us, this is a really, really important part of what we go and deliver, because what we find is that for the audience that we're trying to work with, people don't want to turn up and then suddenly there's a walk that's 2, 3, 4 hours in length. A walk that you would be engaging with if you were a regular walker. So we focus our walks in those parameters, and really for us that is our only parameters of our delivery. And we do also ensure that our walks are in accessible places. So we'll find that they're often in parks or in towns, or places that people can get to by public transport, but also on terrain that is easy for people to go and walk on. We're not about arduous walks across areas of tricky terrains. We really try and be as accessible to all the people who are taking part, and that really, really is important to us, that we're not delivering walks that aren't accessible. We have a national brand that we reach across England. So one of our real strengths is of us being a national program is that we can talk about Ramblers Wellbeing Walks to organisations like yourself. We can try and connect with national organisations that work across England. We can go and connect with government agencies as well to go and talk about what we're about. We have a national database of walks. So we have, and I'll talk a bit more about that later, but we've got 50,000 walks on our database that people go and access. And by having that national brand and that one-stop web website is really, really important to us in terms of broadcasting where people can go and find walks, and people being clear about what those walks are when they go and attend. With our groups, we provide a comprehensive support package from us to those groups to go and start and run the walks. So we are hands-on with our groups in supporting them to do the best they can, and that for us is really, really important, that we're connecting with our groups, supporting them, and they're not isolated and feel that they have to go and deliver this all themselves. It's really about a good amount of collaboration and partnership in terms of making walks a success. And finally, just you may have been aware of a previous program called Ramblers Walking for Health. So Ramblers Walking for Health was a program that delivering the same mission of wellbeing walks, and something that we previously run. And wellbeing walks has sort of come out from all the great learning from Walking for Health and all the great connections there. So if you hear about Walking for Health, wellbeing walks is the successor to that. A little bit about our kind of brand and purpose. So as part of the update around wellbeing walks, we've really refreshed our brand and also ensure that we're really clear about what our purpose is about. And so inevitably, one of the great successes about what we've done previously is that people have tended to go and take part in the walks and have developed their walking more and more, and have been in a really good place that they've managed to go and walk for further and farther and quicker. What we're doing now with Wellbeing Walks is really bringing it back to those core principles and purpose around attracting people who don't walk, and people who are sedentary, and people who are struggling to find that time to be active and exercise. You know, we know that walking can go and deliver these things. We also know that being part of a group walk is such an important element in terms of that connection to other people. Coming out of COVID, and even before COVID, you know, we started to understand that there were people who were socially isolated. People were, we know a number of people on the walks are bereaved, so they've lost loved ones, they've lost family connections, they've lost friend connections. And Wellbeing Walks has been a real force to go and bring people together. And we just know that the power that exists around that. If you bring people together with a common activity, it promotes good well-being, and that's why we really focus our energies in terms of delivering a really welcoming, supportive group walk. So we're not about driving individual walking; it is about bringing people together. And the walks, in some ways, are quite incidental to the bringing people together. That's something that we find is really, really important about what we're doing. I'm just going to talk briefly just about what we offer and what we provide to our groups, just so because I think it's important background. But one of the key things we do is we deliver walk leader training, and we know that having a good trained walk leader is really important, especially for people who are new to the groups, for people who have got potentially some challenges in their lives. Having a good walk leader, somebody who's empathetic and supportive to a walker, is such a key deliverable that we really ensure that we invested quite a lot in our walk leaders and our walk leader training. So we have online e-learning for each walk leader. We have a process of where we train one person in each group, who then trains all the walk leaders in their group with a face-to-face training. We provide a lot of resources and support, and we have insurance for all of our walk leader. We know that for a number of walk leaders, safety and support in that space is really, really important, and we provide that support for our walk leaders should an issue arise. Right. Data and digital systems is another big area of work that we work in, and it's a really important area in terms of, for us, of proving our kind of impact. But there's a really key part of it that is important for the day-to-day delivery of Ramblers Wellbeing Walks, and what that means to our walkers and to our participants, our new participants, and our old participants and our walk leaders. The key thing is for us is our website and our web pages, and each group has got their own web pages, so you can go onto there and find out some more information about who they are, when their walks are, and that's really, really key for us. Is that we've got a search function of where you can go and put your postcode in, and suddenly you can find all the walks that are close by. Through the website, the web pages, you can contact the walk leaders, or you can contact the groups themselves to find out more. And that's really, really important for us, that we're building that connection between the walkers and the groups. The groups are there to kind of support the walkers in taking part. We also have some other systems. We have a sign up for walkers, so we can go and communicate with them and support them. We take registers, so we can prove the impact of people taking part. We also support our volunteers, and there's a big dashboard where we can do reporting. But that's some of the sort of back end elements of what we do to go and support what we're doing. But the key things is a functioning web page that's there to go and support people into the walks. We're also starting to build up our resource library online about particular health conditions, particular positions people find in, so that people are getting information about walking, and that they feel supported through that. And there's some really nice bits of learning in there, nice case studies where people that talk about their experiences of coming on the Wellbeing Walk. A bit about our brand. I've sort of touched this already, but you know, we're really keen and working really hard to make sure that Ramblers Wellbeing Walks is a national brand. So we're doing national promotion. We've been on TV, we've been online. We're doing links to national initiatives. So if you're aware of This Girl Can or We're Undefeatable, so these are initiatives run by Sport England. We're part of those of really ensuring that we're trying to get as much links as we can to our end participants. The key thing around our national brand is we just got this, it's a consistent offering across all of our groups, really, so that you should be able to go to any wellbeing walk, and it should be a fairly universal provision, really, and that is about getting people into walking who aren't currently walking. And finally, we provide a lot of branded resources, because we want to be really proud about our brand, really excitable about it. It's quite fresh, it's been reinvigorated, nice vibrant colours, and that's something that we continue to do around promoting Ramblers Wellbeing Walks. So that's kind of broadly what we do, and as well, that sits behind that is we've got a national team. There's myself and 3 other colleagues who go and support all of our groups, and we're really fortunate that we're part of the Ramblers as well. So there are colleagues as well who support around volunteer development, people who support the walkers should they need any help. So there's our kind of call centre that we've got there, and we have our support in the walk leader space, as well as our data and digital systems as well. So a lot of support that's coming from the Ramblers to go and make Ramblers Wellbeing Walks a success. I'll just talk a little bit about next steps in terms of what you can do from today, and obviously I'm keen to have that conversation today, what that might look like for people on this call, and obviously for people who are watching this back, who to get in touch with me and connect with me about what they'd like to go and see happen. The first thing is setting up a group. We are really keen to go and see more groups set up. That's something that we go and really want to go and see happen. The more groups we have set up, the more we can offer these great walks to people. We know there's demand out there because we get contacted the whole time from prospective walkers. And the joy of walking is we're not limited by space. We're not limited by capacity. The only limitation, as I'm looking out my window now, is probably the weather, which is pretty understandable of when we're getting through to the greys of winter. But even winter walking, you can have some glorious days. So we shouldn't let weather put us off. So if people were keen of setting up a group, we'd be happy to go and help. The next sort of best way probably is to connect with a current group, and almost with our 160 groups across England, that actually is potentially a better way forward than setting up a new group, because you're plugged into a group that's already delivering the walks. And how can we adapt the current walks to meet people's needs? That's really what we're about. We're about supporting our participants at the end of the day, and that's how we can try and do things, is connect with what's already going on to make what we've already got better. And so yeah, we're happy to kind of go and facilitate those conversations with current groups, or equally you can go online onto the website and you'll find everything we love having conversations with people. We love to kind of hear from people. We love to hear about people's experiences and what people want. And so as always, we do say get in touch, because that's really, really important to us to say, let's hear from you and let's talk and let's see what we can do. If there's walks happening already in a place, let's connect you. If there's not, what can we do to make those groups happen? This is obviously where you can go and find the walks. So if you just put in a postcode, and then it will go and show you all the walks. So there's one today close by to me, and just talks about under there's, once you click on each walk, it just gives you a bit of information about starting point and so forth, and you can contact or call the group should you wish.